economic power. Union! 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 Union!
I think what educate, agitate, and organize means to me is, well, from the beginning, basically, is knowing what I got myself into being a longshoreman, being educated, knowing what the fight was, and then being, being ready to just agitate the heck out of somebody, the company, rather it be anything we're fighting for or whatever we're believing for, just to get answers, and then organizing into something beautiful, something like the ILWU, an organized front, and not only in Hawaii, not only on the West Coast, but hopefully one day when I'm older, globally, global solidarity. That's what we want, that's what we're hoping for, that's what we want, global solidarity.
I'll tell you how it started out for me. 1978, I started out as a young worker, and I'll tell you my transformation. I went from young worker to outlaw in my local, to political opponent, and now I'm president of the ILWU. I think what's so fascinating is when I look out here, you give me a sense of hope, because one day the president of the ILWU, the International Secretary Treasurer, and the Vice President is out here in this audience. It's you. You are the future. You are today.
I think it's also important that we have more solidarity amongst ourselves and really take responsibility within ourselves to step up. A lot of people are a little shy and feel kind of like they couldn't do that, and I think it's important for us to take a stand, not only as a group, but individually, and really push your values and your core beliefs, so it really makes an impact, not only with a union, but internationally, locally.
I firmly believe that you gotta be honest with your membership. You got to be honest with the people around you. You got to have an ability to listen, and you also got to have the ability to be open-minded and to different ideas, and take them, consider it all, and not just be too set in your own ways.
So, I heard incredibly good discussion and dialogue emanating from the tables, and that makes my heart sing with absolute joy. I heard a lot of people recanting their own stories, the trials and tribulations, the circumstances that you've been put into, and that's where the good learning happens. The good learning happens when we share these educations, this knowledge, and the practical reality of the work conditions that we work in there. So, question number one, numero uno. We're just going to shout out answers to save time here. Would a worker have reasonable cause to refuse this work? Survey says?
Yes. Fuck yes!
Extra points.
The interesting thing about, I guess, the phrase educate, agitate, and organize is the history behind it. I think it originally came from the IWW, and it was kind of made to obviously get that out there and organize the unorganized. We can take a phrase like that and use it in our own unions to educate the people within, agitate for better working conditions, and organize, kind of the rank and file into getting the goods we want. But we can also take that into reaching out into the community, into activist groups, and really, building solidarity between everybody in the communities that we work in. Because ultimately, like we've been talking about here, we're all working class, and without unity from within our union and beyond our union, I don't think we're going to get anywhere.
The ILWU was formed in 1905 in Chicago. 2 workers from BC made it all the way across to take part in the founding convention. And it came together to organize all of the workers who were often excluded from those respectable craft and trade unions. That is to say, women, immigrants, workers of color, so-called unskilled workers. Printers and carpenters said, we don't have a lot in common with longshoremen, with people who build railways. It's that separation of occupation and jobs that I talked about at the beginning. And the ILWU said, actually, if we're not all in this together, then we're going to get chopped up and gobbled up by the boss.
Sometimes we take our criticism of our officers and our executive to a point where it's too far. We always got to recognize that in most cases, people are trying to do their best job. And while we can criticize because I think I can do better, we must realize they have done their best.
I think it's really important that the older boys and the guys and girls with experience, I think it's important for them to be able to pass down the knowledge that they know down to the younger generation so that we are able to pass it on to the generation after us, because we don't want any of that knowledge lost.
I believe as young workers, we must respect the older generation of sisters and brothers who have spent most of their lives building the foundation for us on the ports. Those who suffered and gone through hardships at being at the ports.
We need to let the people in power, the politicians, the other people, other unions in the community, understand our struggle and hear us. Because if we don't agitate and be the thorn in the side of some of these people, they will not act for us.
Move forward. Don't always just reflect backwards on what everybody else has done wrong before you. Try to be forward thinking and realize that things don't come easy. Gordon touched on what Jimmy Hermione said to him, that if you need something, if you want something, if something to better the workplace for the workers, it's going to be tough and there's going to be work involved and you're going to have to get involved to get stuff done.
Education is very important in the union. You need to educate yourself, and the best way to do that is to get involved and talk to your fellows, talk to the members, and find out more information about the union and where they've come from as well.
For all of you here, please remember this. As much as 18 million members of ITF, 90,000 members of MUI, and 3,000 of Indonesian dockers are with your struggle. We stand by for any support and solidarity needed.
So this group in front of you is going to establish the ballot that we'll be voting on tomorrow. Everybody here will be on the ballot. The top 6 will be the new youth committee, but everybody who's part of this youth caucus is invited to be part of any ILWU Canada youth meeting.
Well, I'm a fighter. I've gone to Port Commission meetings by myself and agitated the crap out of the Port Commission because our port in San Diego is focused on hotels. I got their mission statement, I presented it to them, and it stated basically that maritime is supposed to be the priority of that port, not hotels. They hated my guts, they wanted to throw me out, I didn't budge. I fought with them. I love to fight.
Each phrase should be a question, and each phrase should start with "do we."
We had a lot of different issues in our local, and we have formed a committee ourselves in order to tackle those issues.
Most importantly for you guys, I will show up on time, probably early, I will pay attention, and I will also look at the details.
I just want to learn more and also empower more people, and I want to get everyone involved as much as I possibly can.
I bought the hoodie because I knew that I wanted to be a part of this family, and I bought the cushion because I knew I was here for the long run.
This is my study, this is my focus, this is what I live for.
As trade unionists, we come here to build working class power. I mean, it's what it's all about.
My great-grandfather started the San Pedro Fishing Coalition when all the immigrants came to San Pedro, and then they organized and then into ILWU. So union runs in my blood through and through on both sides.
Eventually this is going to be our fight. Dan, everyone else, our officers, they're going to retire. We're going to have to fight. If we don't get ready now, it's not going to end well. Everything we have, they fought for. Everything the next generation is going to have, we're going to have to fight for.
Agitate also means little steps each day against the employer. Getting grip tape on a stairwell, fight for that.
As a casual, I don't want to use that as a crutch. I want that to be my driving force to push this kind of experience and get the education to show all of the young workers and other casuals that are the future members to fight for this kind of stuff.
So how do we fight that? We band together. Solidarity is our best and strongest weapon.
And it's important to reach out to everybody, and it's also important to have a good time when you are together. So don't forget, not just about educating the people in this room, but the people who don't come to this room, and ask out why, and find out why, and reach out to those people.
Honestly, just feels like a giant family, and it's a pleasure to be part of it, guys. So thanks for showing the love. Thanks for always
making everyone feel welcome.
I am grateful standing here today, and I will be more grateful if I can keep going and participating in more groups like this. Thank you.
We don't understand how much needs to be done necessarily, and I think a level of agitation of like telling us like how bad it was before, how much better it's been, how bad it could be if we don't do something is that's where agitation comes in, and it's a level of motivation that we need. Probably. Some of us have it, some of us don't, some of us are somewhere in between. We all need to get to a place where we're ready and willing to do anything at any time to make the union stronger, man.
You guys have to stick together. Without solidarity, you're nothing, you're weak. They'll pick you off like, it's ridiculous. You have to stand up for each other. You have to place principles before personalities. I don't have to like you, and I don't want to hang out with him after work, but at work, oh, he's my best friend. He's my best friend. I'll give him my sandwich. He's got no lunch, I'll give him my sandwich. I'll do whatever I can to help this guy, especially if the employer's singling him out. Right? Wrong. So please don't be an individual. Be a group. Support each other. Love each other. All right? Not enough love in the world. Let's at least have it in our job sites and in our work.
Agitate is all about being heard, and all about letting the employer know when something happens that really shouldn't. It's about giving people a voice and making sure that we call not only the employer out when they're doing something wrong, but calling our brothers and our sisters out when they should be doing something different, when we need to support each other.
The time for action is now. Stand with us to protect our working class, hold employers accountable, and let all employers know if you kill a worker, you're going to jail. Bureaucracy is blocking justice. Most estimates are based on fatalities that are accepted by the Workers' Compensation Board, not all fatalities, period. This discrepancy is because there is no nationally publicly funded available registry accounting for all workplace deaths across Canada. And workers' compensation boards across Canada aren't required to talk to one another, nor are they required to talk to the Federal Occupational Health and Safety Board.
Like Genevieve says, the time for lip service is over. We have to stand up and fight back. We cannot allow this to continue. We can't allow corporate criminality to continue every day in our workplace and kill our brothers and sisters and loved ones, friends and neighbors. It has to stop now. We're putting the federal government and the provincial government and the employers in this province on notice. We are coming after corporate criminals that kill workers.
Any worker's life's more important than productivity or profit. Everyone should go to work and come home safely. Kill a worker? Go to jail! Kill a worker? Go to jail! Kill a worker? Go to jail!
Because of criminal negligence, employers not giving a fuck if they kill a worker. Employers willing to pay a few bucks if they kill a worker. The unfortunate thing is they call it the price of doing business. They'll put a price on every one of our heads. That's the type of miserable pieces of shit that they are.
It is not okay to accept production levels that are unreasonable. Right. At the end of the day, you have a right to go home to your family, and we need to start valuing our lives a little bit more.
I think the key to any success with organizing is education, especially with the union and its members. If they don't know what they're fighting for, then why fight, you know? Especially with enthusiasm and putting your best effort forward. Education is key.
You know, we need people to know what's going on. We need, not only is this union strong with our members, but it's strong with the outside community and everyone around us. So the more we do to get others involved, the better we're going to be.
We can be educated in many different ways, but it is important that we learn and prepare ourselves for the future that is coming.
The people before us, they held these jobs for us, they kept these jobs going.
And if we don't do the same thing, then these jobs aren't going to be here for our kids.
Someone's told me that when you're talking, you're only repeating what you already know, but when you listen, you might learn something new.
To get a diverse group of people together and work as a whole and work towards a common goal.
I really support the idea of the education, because without the education, we wouldn't have the thought to organize or the proper tools to agitate.
Just putting your foot down and going, no, I'm not going to do it, or no, that's not right, or this is how I feel. Not letting yourself get pushed around even by fellow coworkers because they just want to get their job, they want to get their paycheck, or they just want to leave. But really, the bigger thing is leaving with your life to your loved ones, your families, your mom, your dad, and everyone has family down here, and you never want to hear about your best friend at work, her dad passing away, or her brother passing away, or your brother passing away. You don't want to hear any of that because we're all siblings down here technically.
Agitate. That's what we do best. You get in the minds and the hearts of people, you pick them up, you be the voice of those that can't be heard, because that's our ability as union people. But if they want to be heard, you put them on your shoulders and you let their voices rise above the crowd. And when somebody tries to push them down, you stand up beside them and you say, wait. You mess with my comrade, you're gonna mess with us. Because that's what the union movement's about. Yeah, it's about securing good living conditions for our people, but it's also about supporting each other. It's about lifting people up to give them the power and the strength that they need to be able to have the confidence to be heard over the noise. And that's what this conference is about.
I owe everything in my fucking life I owe to the ILWU. Everything.